Second question, is it helpful? That's Paul's questions. Is it helpful? So let's say you answer the first question. You say, well, it's not illegal and the Bible doesn't forbid it. Can we do it? Next question. Is it going to help or harm the marriage? There are things that may not be sinful, but for your marriage may not be helpful. You see the difference? So, back to why God created sex. There are 6 reasons according to the Bible. Pleasure. In the Song of Solomon, children are not mentioned, though they are a blessing. It's all about the pleasures of marital intimacy. If one of you has pain, discomfort, is harmed or hurt or abused in any way, the answer is no. It's also for children. The Bible says, be fruitful, increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Children are a blessing. Not every time a couple is together need there be the possibility of child conception and bearing, but yes, it is perfectly acceptable to say we want to start a family, and one of the reasons we want to be intimate is we would love to be parents. That's perfectly acceptable in the sight of God, and that can in fact be helpful. It's also for knowledge. Genesis 4:1 says that Adam lay with his wife Eve, and he knew her. If this allows you to know one another at a deeper level of intimacy, to treasure, to enjoy, to explore one another, and your consciences are both clear, it's not a sin against God and it's not a violation of government, then perhaps it could be something that would be helpful. But if what it does is it pushes you apart, if it makes one of you feel taken advantage of or abused or mistreated or neglected or used, then that is not building knowledge between the two of you. It's not drawing the other person out and getting to know them. It is using and abusing them. Number 4, it's for protection. 1 Corinthians 7:2-5 says that a husband and wife are obligated to fulfill their conjugal rights, that they should not deprive one another, but by mutual consent and for a time to devote themselves to prayer so that they may not fall into temptation because of their lack of self-control. Sometimes the husband's in the mood and the wife isn't, and so they will be together. Later on, she'll be in the mood and he won't, so they will be together. And it is a couple lovingly serving one another without keeping a record, saying, well, there's no excuse for sexual sin outside of the marriage, but if I serve you and you serve me, that is a safeguard and protection against temptation, right? And that is a perfectly acceptable reason, so that could be helpful. Number 5, it is for comfort. The story is told in 2 Samuel 12:24, where a child dies and a couple is intimate to comfort one another because, as I've said frequently, you sometimes can't fix it and you don't want to talk about it. You just don't want to be alone in it. And so you're together. That can be a perfectly helpful reason for a couple to be together. And number 6, it's for oneness. Genesis 2:24, that the two shall become one flesh. So the question is, does it pull you together or push you apart? Do you both have a clear conscience, or does one of you want to do something that the other is not okay with in your conscience? Do you both feel like this is something that together you want to do, or do you feel like you're getting bullied or pushed, that you're getting abused or harassed, or maybe even you're getting assaulted and imposed upon? Does it cause you to be 2 or 1? Does it cause your spouse to feel closer to you or to feel more dangerous with you? To feel put upon, taken advantage of, neglected, used and abused? And I don't know what the particular issues are in your marriage. And for those of you who are single, you don't even know this kind of sex if you've been fornicating prior to marriage and or into pornography. You don't understand the biblical reasons for sex. So you need to have a renewing of your mind so that as you prepare for a sexual married relationship, you're able to start to think biblically before you act practically. First of all, is it lawful? What does government and God say? Secondly, is it helpful? Will this build our marriage or break our marriage? Will this make us closer or further apart? Do we both have a clear conscience or not? What is the heart motive? Why would we want to do this or not do this? Those kinds of questions. And so what I'm asking the couples that are married and those who are engaged in preparing for marriage to do is get face-to-face as friends, and you got to talk about it. And some of you say, I feel very awkward talking about it. Well, you're going to be equally awkward doing it, so may as well talk about it first. And I know a lot of Christian married couples, sometimes because one or both of them has had the view of sex as gross, they don't talk about it. I've been in counseling sessions with embittered, frustrated, divided couples, and I'll just ask, well, what would you like to do? And one person will say, I'd like to do this. And the other person said, I'm fine with that. Really? You are? Yeah. Why are you meeting with me? I love you and I'm glad to be here, but you want to do it? They are fine doing it. You could have settled this at your home on the couch. I'll just leave it at that. I meant talking about it. And some other stuff. All right, third question.